Welcome everyone to this video featuring Linux Mint 19. Hopefully everything goes smooth because I've done a couple test recordings and none of them seem to work. I think this is because I'm trying to play them from the live installation media, which, as you can see here, I haven't even installed this distro yet. But when I put them on my USB flash drive and then boot up my main distro, they seem to work, so yeah. But the reason why I'm going to be taking a look at Linux Mint without actually installing it is because I personally don't find a need to install it for this video, because this video will just simply be an overview. So I'll just be taking a look at what this distro has to offer, what improvements there may be from the previous version, and yeah, I mean, at least this is on a virtual machine, so everything seems to run how it should be. I mean, I don't think I would really even be able to make it run smoothly on this machine, so yeah, but this is the installer. You can choose your language. There are a couple steps. It's pretty much the typical installer, and the installation probably takes 10 to 20 minutes. So yeah, but right off the bat, we're here presented with the Cinnamon desktop environment, which I am personally definitely a fan of. I really like the way it looks. I like the way you can customize it, and it can look really nice. So taking a look at the menu here, you have Firefox featured as the main web browser. Most of the Linux distros seem to favor this browser, and for a good reason. So let's take a look at the version here. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the newest version. I don't know if... I know that for sure it has to be at least 60. I don't know if this number is correct right here. But nonetheless, it's definitely up to date. And you can also tell, because now when you go to customize, what you can do is untick this. And now when you put it in full screen, you don't have to deal with the title bar. And a lot of people don't like the fact that, at least for the web browsers, that there's a title bar on the top, because it just takes up like additional space for no good reason. So it definitely looks a lot better like this. And if you also want, you could just go to density and click right here on compact, and it takes up the theme that you have right now for Linux Mint. So I won't really be taking a look at the browser itself. I mean, I'm sure you've all used Firefox. Also, with this distro, like most, they don't really support my like Wi-Fi drivers, so I always have to run these two commands right here. First, starting off with this one. This is the driver for my Wi-Fi, and then this one. I'll be honest, I don't really know exactly what those two lines of code do, but what I do know for sure is that they help fix my Wi-Fi problem. But yeah, it does become pretty annoying, like getting a distro and then not having the Wi-Fi work out of the box. But I'm sure that most laptops, or most hardware, would run just fine. Alright, taking a look at the menu, next up we have the software manager, which, by the way, I really like the look of the menu. Not everyone would agree, but I personally do, because you have your main stuff right here on the left side, and then you have all applications that are in categories, which I'll be taking a look at in a little bit. I've had experience using the software manager from Linux Mint 18, I can definitely say it's a good software manager. It has plenty of stuff that you might want or need, and then there are also categories here, which there are plenty of games. Also, there's plenty of browsers. There's Firefox, Chromium. Let's see if there's Brave. I'm pretty sure there's Brave as well. Oh, really? Last time I checked, there was Brave, but that's fine. I mean, if like a program isn't on the software manager, you can easily install it. So yeah, so I mean, like I said, when it comes to the software manager, it has pretty much all your basic needs. Has tons of media players, music players. Certainly has VLC, which I really like. I think that's the best multimedia player. But yeah, so that's the software manager. Let's take a look at the system settings. Alright, so backgrounds, I'll take a look in a little bit. Effects. Alright, so when it comes to effects, you have plenty of effects here that relate to the windows and whatnot. And for example, when I minimize this window right here, as you can see, it has an effect when it minimizes. I can choose scale, and it would minimize like this, or let's try something else like blend. So there's some pretty interesting effects, and you know, the system, or not the system, the Cinnamon desktop environment isn't the most lightweight. If we take a look at the system monitor right here, as you can see, I mean, I know I'm recording, but when I was recording on Chaos, the memory was only 0.8 gigabytes, so yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, the overall experience right now is definitely smooth. I can definitely say that it's smooth. And if I take a look at system info, you can see my specs for my laptop, which it isn't really that great, but it shows the operating system Cinnamon version, Linux kernel, and yeah, if you want, you could just disable all these effects and you just won't have effects, but everything will pop up faster. But for the sake of the video, I will just leave everything here by default, and then you can of course customize the settings, right? Fonts, I never really mess around with fonts, but of course you have a wide variety of fonts here that you may like. You can also choose the size of the font. So yeah, I like I said, I don't really mess with the fonts typically. I just leave them as is on every distro. Alright, so for the window borders, you have Mint Y, you have a light and a dark theme. Then you also have Mint X, which I'm not really sure why there isn't like a dark theme for this as well. I'm pretty sure that some people would appreciate that. But let's try Mint White Dark. I really like this theme. And also the icons. Now, these icons aren't really for everyone, but I think that the default icons I'd say are pretty good. So the main list or set of icons that are featured here are the Mint X and the Mint Y. So if we take a look at the Mint X, as you can see, the icons are definitely different. They're not really flat. They appear to be a lot more different. You can definitely distinguish one icon from the other in comparison to Mint Y, where everything seems to be flat, and the main way to distinguish things are pretty much colors and The icons themselves, I personally like them. Like I said, I like how they're more simplistic, but oops, it all depends on a person's preference. These ones, I'm really not a fan of these ones, or the high contrast. This one is my least favorite. But you can, there's some Ubuntu styled icons, which I'm sure a lot of people are fans of. But I personally like the Mint Y icon set, but I'll just go with the green one. And then you only have two crosshairs featured, DMZ white and black, which I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it doesn't seem to be changing. It's really weird. Look at that, it's not changing. But the cool thing is let's see, if you go to the Synaptic Package Manager, I'm personally a fan of Breeze, so you can click on the search here and you can type in Breeze, and you can just get the Breeze cursor theme and also the default Plasma theme. So you can definitely take a look at and install plenty of themes from there. In this video I won't really be doing that. I wanted to try out the black cursor theme, but oh well, it just doesn't seem to work. So there's the Linux Mint theme, there's the Cinnamon theme. You have a pretty decent variety of themes here, but the good thing is that if you want, right here you can go to add/remove, you can click yes, and my personal favorite that I used is Elegance, not Elegance Dark, but the original Elegance, and it's really quick to install a theme. It just takes a couple of seconds and then you have it. So you can go here to desktop and there it is, Elegance. So I personally really like this theme. I think it's really good. So that's mainly it for theming. So you know, you have your icons, the window borders, the crosshair, the desktop, and also I actually forgot about this, the controls, which I think that these can look pretty nice as well. This dark theme, for example, I think looks pretty nice. But the thing that's nice about this is that you can make all the themes match, and it can look really nice. Alright, so let's go back here. So as you can see, as a whole, you have a lot of options here. I won't be taking a look at everything because, I mean, you know, this is just an overview and I don't want the video to be too long. But you can go to desktop here and control the icons featured, or you can right click and go to desktop settings. But in this case, I prefer having a desktop with no icons. Let's see, can I remove this? Yep. Alright. Now there's something really interesting about this, and that's extensions. But before I get to that, let's take a look at the date and time. As you can see, you can, this is incorrect. I was wondering why the time was like this, but you can use a 24-hour clock or like this. And also when you click on the date here, it does look pretty nice. I really like the way the date is presented. You also have screensaver, and also when it comes to privacy, Linux Mint 19, they promised that they would not be asking for absolutely any information, unlike Canonical, which I really like and support Linux Mint 19 for doing that. I don't know if I'm going to be making a video in the future about that. I may, but yeah, that's one thing that's really good. Languages and keyboard also you can install. If you need a different keyboard layout, you can definitely install that. If you go to Windows right here, you can pretty much change these to be on the left side or on the right side. Panel, we'll be getting that to that in a little bit. Alright, so what I was talking about, extensions. I really like extensions because if you go to download right here, you have definitely like a good variety of extensions that are pretty cool. So transparent panels, for example, is once you click on download, you can click manage, click on the plus button, and then as you can see, the panel is completely transparent, and you can go right here to fully transparent, semi-transparent, or with a shadow. I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to do semi-transparent. I know that a lot of people like to mess around with the opacity of the panel, and Linux Mint doesn't really offer you to change that, but the good thing is that you have the extensions right here, which you can use to manipulate your desktop environment. Also, there was one thing that was pretty cool, which was called, I don't know if it's here, for some reason it's not. Maybe it's because this isn't fully updated, because I haven't installed the system, but there was something ice cream. If you type in ice cream, it's going to pop up, but you can essentially manipulate the icons right here. And I know that some people prefer the tabs, instead of these being tabs, for them to be icons that are grouped together. So you can also do that as well. But just to give you an idea of how things work, you just go to download, take a look at whatever may catch your interest right here. You can download it really quickly, and then you can click on the plus button to add it, or the minus to get rid of it. And then when you click on this, you can edit the settings. So I really like that. I think that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at also mouse. So you have a lot of options here. You can adjust the mouse size. For some reason, I'm not really sure why, but the mouse seems to have glitched up, at least on my screen. I don't know how it is on video, but it's not changing size here. But yeah, you can add a custom acceleration, custom sensitivity. So yeah, you can also edit your touchpad. And also, when it comes to click actions, I prefer to just have to click it once, but I don't think it's here. I think it was in like Windows. It was somewhere here. Nonetheless. And also there's the driver manager, which can download and help you get some proprietary drivers which you may need, but yeah, let's hope this doesn't stall. Yeah, I personally don't need that. Okay, so going here to the panel, you can go to panel edit mode, and then here you have the set of icons and whatnot, which you can drag and take away from the, let's see here, let's take away Bluetooth. Oh, you can take it off like that. Okay, well, I personally don't like to use panel edit mode. What I do is go to panel settings, and then you can also change the size of the panel and also keep these in proportion. Let's see, I don't know why this is weird, because modify panel, move panel, you can move it to the left, right, top, bottom. I like it on the top personally. But for some reason, I don't know why these like apps like won't move. That's weird. Oh, whatever. But I know that oh, there we go. You could just remove it like this. All you have to do is just right click on it. And this shows the desktop. Okay. I like it when things are more simple. Also, you have live session user, which you can have the options to log off, to switch user, power off, system settings. I think this comes in pretty handy, but I prefer, having my panel as simple as possible because you also have the options right here. Oh, and also, when you change the desktop theme, your main menu also changes. And what you can do is you can right click and click on configure, and you can change the icon to whatever you want. You can change this to whatever you want, or you can take away the text, which I think is pretty nice, and you can also change the look of the menu itself. So yeah, I think in terms of the panel, you definitely have a decent amount of options. You can definitely change it to the way you want. And yeah, also let's take a look if there's Plank, which there isn't. So installing it would take just a minute. So I'm not going to install it. I don't think there's a need, but yeah, so looking at the files here, this is the file manager, which is the Nemo 3.8.3 file manager. I personally really like it. You have your main folders here, and I also have my recording here, and yeah, that's pretty basic here. Oh, I forgot I have to double click. I'm used to single clicking things. I think it looks pretty nice. There's compact view. You can change the view. So alright, so let's take a look at the desktop backgrounds. So I personally think that these look very nice and professional. These main sets of backgrounds, I really like this one. I like how simple they are and how they're metallic, how they're like grayish and green. It really fits the main theme of Linux Mint. And also there are the Tara wallpapers, which I must say there are definitely some really nice wallpapers here. The process. This is interesting. I'll just choose waves because I really like the color blue. Oh, and also the cool thing is that last time I checked, you could move one window and it would come out from the left side. Or if I move it here, it should come out from the right side. I don't know why that's not happening. That's weird. So yeah, so you have accessories here. Simple calculator, files, image viewer. Oh, Redshift. This is actually a really good program, which you can use to adjust the color balance. This is really good for your eyes, especially at night. You can take a screenshot. There's a text editor right here. Then we have graphics. It's got GIMP. I'm personally not a fan of GIMP. I know that almost every distro comes with GIMP, but I much prefer Krita, or however you pronounce it. I really like that one. GIMP, I gave it a shot. I tried to install it, or not install it, but I tried to learn how to use it, but it's just too difficult for me. So you got Thunderbird Mail and then Firefox as your only and main web browser, but as we saw earlier, There's plenty of other browsers to install. There's Calendar and then LibreOffice. I really like the Libre suite. I really like the LibreOffice Writer because of how similar it is to Microsoft Word, and it can also open Word document files, which is really nice. So there's a simple media player. OBS, it did not come with OBS. I installed it myself, but of course I really like Linux Mint's approach on the amount of applications, as I think they only come with the necessary ones, and of course not everyone would require OBS, so if you want OBS you can just install it yourself. So you have a media player and Rhythm Box. I personally don't think these are the best ones. I would prefer VLC and Clementine, but that's just personal preference. Universal access, administration, so this is for the drivers, gparted for partitions. There's the software manager and the synaptic package manager, system monitor. There's the terminal, time shift, update manager, and yeah, preferences. So this going on to these like these categories, it's pretty much you can access them in the system settings. And then there's places, which I personally like this because it has you know, the typical folders that you may need or have to access. And also the lock screen. I can't really show it right now, but the lock screen looks really nice. I'm personally definitely a fan of it. But yeah, so I won't try to drag this video too much because I think it's already long enough. So this was the basic overview of Linux Mint, showing you what features it has, showing the settings, how you can mess around with them, showing the applications it has, and just all the basic stuff, anything that you might be wondering about it, anything you might want to check out yourself, but don't necessarily want to create an installation media and you know, try it out yourself. So you can definitely see everything it has to offer here, or at least the most important stuff. But yeah, so this was pretty much it. Let's try not to drag the video too much. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.